Hello and welcome to the DojoCast. This is episode 18 of the DojoCast, iPad 2. Hey guys, I'm your host, Kid Guru here today, Adrian, and today I have 6 or 7 stories for you guys. Obviously, the biggest story of the day being the Apple event that passed this weekend, March 2nd. Alright, so, big news for you guys. I'm getting out of frame here on the camera, so let me push the camera back a little bit. But anyways, the first story I want to talk to you guys about is a little bit of a study dealing with cell phones. So this is coming from the Android blog over at cnetnews.com. Android is now number one, the operating system behind, I believe, Apple. Apple's at 27%. So leading right now is Android with 29% of total market. That's with Motorola, Samsung, and HTC, as they've been coming out with a lot of phones lately. Apple's falling behind only by 2% with their only phone on the market, which is obviously the iPhone. Behind Apple is tied with BlackBerry, which is the RIM products. And they have some other charts here. Falling behind them is Microsoft, and then HP with WebOS and some other phones. So as of right now, in the this is, I believe, where are the stats or the date for the stats? It says Google, Apple, and RIM are all vying for the top spot among the smartphones, but one is dominant, which is obviously Android as of right now. This is grabbing 29% of the market compared to the 27% from BlackBerry and Apple's iOS. The last 10% goes to Microsoft Windows Mobile Phone or the Windows 7 phone, and combined for 4% is HP, and the last place with 2% is the Nokia Symbian phones. Alright, so this is all data coming from the Nielsen online research, and I'm guessing this is dealing with operating system shares for smartphones as of November 10th to January 11th. This is the postpaid mobile subscribers. So this isn't general data for the whole year. This is from November 10th to January 11th. So that just goes to show that Android is on the rise in terms of phone sales. But then again, Android has Android has 30, or not even 30, 10 plus phones out compared to Apple's one phone, which is obviously the Apple iPhone 4. I think they still sell the 3GS for a cheaper price, but as of right now, the iPhone 4 is the hot product for Apple. And I guess that means Apple's doing good if they only have one product competing against 10, 15 products from Android. Anyways, that's the mobile phone story for today. Moving on to the next story, National Day of Unplugging. So this is something that's gone down every year to unplug. Not even from the internet, just to unplug from everything, electricity, as from, I believe it's March 4th this year, March 4th to March 5th, what do you call that? It's called obviously the National Day of Unplugging. So what you do is, you can sign up for this, Facebook, MySpace, all those sites are holding a thing where you can, say that you're participating in the day to save electricity, pretty much. It says that, I'm not sure how long this has been going on, but, basically, it says, in case you haven't heard, tonight is the start of the second annual, it's only been going on for 2 years now, the National Day of Unplugging, a grassroots effort to get people to shut off their precious mobile devices and obviously some, other electronics, to encourage to obviously save not only electricity but also to reconnect with the world in terms of, instead of relying on our, electronic devices, reconnecting socially, in person, meeting up with the person face to face rather than, video chatting or anything like that. So this is a day of reconnecting and saving electricity, March 4th to March 5th, sundown to sunrise, or sundown to sundown, I guess you can say. March 4th to March 5th. If you're participating, you can go to Facebook, you can go to MySpace, and I think there's also, it says it grew out a large effort known as Reboot, which is pushing for more frequent downtime, encouraging weekly breaks as a part of the Sabbath Manifesto, designed to allow people to redefine the nation of a day of rest. Among the creators of the Sabbath Manifesto is Dan Rollman, who founded the Universal World Record Database, an online database that aims to do the Guinness Book of World Records, and Wikipedia has done, just like how Wikipedia has done to the encyclopedia. So if you're going to be participating there, there's links, I'll put them in the video description, or podcast description, for you guys to go ahead and participate. If you want to do that, you can, again, 24 hours, shut down mainly your mobile devices, I believe it says here, to kind of reconnect with the world and save electricity. And you can also text a direct number, I think texting reboot to 738674, just so I guess they can get a demographic of how many people are actually participating. Alright, with that, let's move into the next story here. I guess my camera looks a little bit off focus. Or not off, what do you call it, off frame, I'm gonna move it here, or off center. Sorry. Anyways, next story comes from Mashable. Mashable News. The $424 million NASA satellite fails to launch, and they have a video actually. So, if you haven't seen this, this was, I believe, Friday morning. Failed launch that cost $424 million for the spacecraft that went into orbit, I believe. So it says here seemed planned to launch at 2:10 a.m. Pacific time, launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California, until the final stage of a launch when a fairing covering the satellite was supposed to be ejected. Because that protective cover stayed on, the configuration was too heavy and too slow to make it into orbit, said NASA. So according to Space.com, Glory was intended to monitor two aspects of the Earth's climate, so to monitor the weather, obviously. It was designed to give a scientific dynamic look at the tiny particles on the Earth's atmosphere called aerosols, in hopes of determining how they affect the planet's weather. In addition, the satellite had instruments that measured variations in the amount of solar energy striking the highest regions of the Earth's atmosphere. And they actually have a video here if you want to check it out. So $424 million loss in terms of space hardware. Orbital Science is one of the private companies of NASA, and it's counting to lift cargo to the International Space Station when the shuttle was retired. So they have a YouTube video. It's about a minute long. You can see the shuttle going into trying to go into orbit, and then this basically this part doesn't eject, which causes it to be too heavy to go into orbit, and it kind of just it fails after that. So you can check this out. Again, this is a launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base, California. If you're interested, the link will be in the video description. Alright, so before I get into the iPad news, which is a big story of the day, I did want to talk about Apple deal with iTunes. They're trying to negotiate a deal that's something that people have been wanting for a long time. They're trying to negotiate the deal for unlimited iTunes music downloads. So they already do this with applications. You know, if you download an application on your iPhone from the App Store, and then you get a new iPhone, and you know, if it's tied to the same account, it'll give you that notification that says, you know, you've already installed this, you don't need to buy it again, you know, you don't need to spend the money. Now, it's different between cross devices. Like if I bought a phone on my iPhone and then I tried to install the same app on my iPad for the iPad version, you have to pay separate prices. But if you're getting the exact same app, iTunes isn't going to charge you, double the amount. Now, the thing that they haven't been able to do this with is songs. So they're trying to make a deal with the record companies that would allow it to offer unlimited downloads through iTunes music purchases. Bloomberg says, citing that 3 people with the knowledge of the company's plan. So this is coming from Bloomberg. And obviously, it's only logical that you would do this because, you know, some people, just like it is for apps, if you accidentally, you know, if you erase something on your new iPhone or you want to download it again, you obviously wouldn't want to pay for it again. But you can't do that as of right now with the songs. So they're trying to negotiate with, it says here, Venedetti's Universal Music, Sony Music, and Warner Brothers Entertainment. If successful, the deal would allow iTunes users to download the music they've purchased to several devices, iPhones, iPad, iPod included. Apple's been trying to Apple is trying hard to make the iTunes more competitive to various music streaming services like Pandora, Grooveshark's out there, where users don't download music at all, but they just stream it for a monthly fee. So, after getting rid of DRM back in 2007, Apple has increased iTunes songs previews to 90 seconds, and that's obviously when you want to buy a song, they have like a play now button to listen. I believe before it was like 60 seconds, it was a minute, so they added an extra 30 seconds. They've added social networking Ping, which, you know, is it's kind of a flop. I don't know how many people use Ping. It's basically a social network for music artists and kind of share what music you listen to and stuff like that, but I don't know a lot of people who really use that. But if they could get this unlimited deal, that's going to be a pretty successful thing, just because a lot of people hate it when they, you know, either you get a new iPhone, you upgrade from the 3GS to the 4, and then you try to carry your music over, and, you know, maybe your computer crashed, you lost the iTunes data. You don't want to go ahead and buy all those songs all over again, obviously. So what this would do would basically store the information in your account that I've bought, you know, a song X, and then next time you get a new phone, new iPod, whatever, if you bought song X before, then, you know, it'll just give it to you for free. And that's what they already do with apps, so hopefully the deal goes through with the music labels. Alrighty, and I guess I'll save the iPad 2 story for last, because that's the biggest one I want to talk about. But I do have some other stories here about Microsoft. Microsoft is boosting its efforts to kill the IE6 campaign with a new countdown site. So for those people who still use IE6, that's Internet Explorer 6, the browser that Microsoft released, I believe, with Windows XP. It's to this day people still use the browser, and in terms of web standards and security, Microsoft is obviously trying to get people to upgrade to IE7, IE8, or even Fire. There's options like Firefox and Chrome out there. Just because if you're running IE6, you're vulnerable to a lot of new tactics out there in the web. It's not up to current standards with web standards, video codecs and all of that. But in the United States alone, usage of IE6 is only 2.9%, but the 10-year-old browser accounts for more than a third of all of users in China, which is obviously a big country, a quarter of users in South Korea, and more than 10% of users in such countries as Japan, Taiwan, Saudi Arabia, and India. The stats published on the IE6 Countdown site come from a usage tracker called Net Applications. Some users running pirated copies of Windows XP never upgraded to more modern browsers out of fear that they might expose themselves to Microsoft, because when you install anything from Microsoft, you get that Windows validation tool type thing to run. And then if you don't pass that, obviously, then they do this whole thing where it kind of blacks out your desktop and it doesn't let you use your machine if you pirated Windows XP. So that's, that alone is just not causing users to update from IE6. But really, I don't even use IE anymore, period. IE7, IE8, IE9. I think Firefox is more of a superior browser. There's Chrome out there, and it's just more secure. Obviously, IE6 has a lot of vulnerabilities built into it, and, it's a 10-year-old browser, for one thing. So you're really risking a lot to be surfing on the internet with IE6 right now if you are. So highly recommend you upgrade. You don't even have to go to Firefox or Chrome. Again, you can upgrade to IE7 if you still want to stay with Internet Explorer. That's just a kind of a notice out to everybody. Alright, some news from TechCrunch. TechCrunch.com posted an article about WordPress. WordPress.com, the hoster of many blogs, from my blog to hundreds of thousands of other people and important websites that run their blog off of WordPress. A DDoS attack, a distributed denial of service attack, primarily from China, possibly politically motivated, pretty much took down a lot of WordPress sites. So I believe it's the largest to date DDoS attack in terms of largest for WordPress, that is. It happened yesterday morning. WordPress.com was attacked, and again, very early this morning it happened again after they stabilized the service and everything. It serves about 18 million websites as of current, and many of the news sites like TechCrunch and obviously had attacks that came from the Middle East, a region experiencing its own internet issues at the moment because of Libya and Egypt and all of that. So 98% of the attacks came from China, with a small percentage coming from Japan and Korea. And according to Mullenweg, one of the targeted sites was a Chinese language site operating on WordPress.com, which also appears to be blocked in Baidu in China, and that's China's major search engine. So WordPress quoted that WordPress.com was hit with another wave of attack today that caused issues again. This time we were able to recover more quickly, and also determined one of the targets to be a Chinese language site, which appears to be also blocked in Baidu. The vast majority of the attacks were coming from China, which is 98%, so that's pretty much a majority, with a little bit of Japan and Korea mixed in it. So some people did experience downtime for their WordPress sites, and it sucks because obviously WordPress is a distributor to over 18 million websites. And what a DDoS is, basically it's when they get a lot of botnets or a lot of zombie computers that have been, like, let's say you get infected with malware. Some malware will infect your computer, and then it will get remote access to your computer, so that whoever the hacker is or whoever is running the thing can basically take hundreds of thousands of people who have been affected by this malware, and he can make their computer all visit one website, so that it kind of crashes the servers and takes a load down. And when it does it in a big group, they call it a distributed denial of service. So that they do this to take down websites that cause suffering on people's servers, and then especially they aim this more at people like WordPress who host thousands, millions of websites. That way it affects other people as well, not just the service, or not just the main web page itself. So you can see a chart here. They show like where the traffic was coming from, and how the services was running at the time and stuff like that. So over at TechCrunch you can read it, uptime, downtimes, and along with when the DDoS happened. Alright, so with that, I do want to get into the final story of the day. This podcast is actually running short, 15 minutes, not too long. Apple had their keynote this weekend and launched the new iPad 2. So I'm going to show you. Go ahead and take my iPad off the stand here. The current iPad, there's a lot of rumors speculating what would be upgraded in the iPad. Newest iPad has a new front-facing camera for FaceTime, and that's a VGA camera, so it's 640 by 480 resolution. On the back, it has a new 720p HD recording camera for photos and video. So you have a rear-facing camera as well. It's not only for photo but for FaceTime to show what you're looking at. It's now thinner, lighter, and faster. It has the new A5 dual-core processor, so it's twice the speed, 9 times the graphics processing power. So gaming and daily multitasking is to be much more smoother on the iPad 2. Screen stayed about the same. I believe they reduced the bezel by a little bit. They basically took the top layer. There's 3 layers atop the glass. They took the top layer off just to slim down the iPad. I believe it's 33% thinner now, 15% lighter. Not it's like point something of a pound lighter, but with the thinness, it makes a huge difference. Standard charging port on the back. I believe the speakers are now on the back left of the iPad. You'll probably see some pictures as I edit this. But along with that, Steve Jobs is actually there to hold the presentation, hold the keynote, which is news in itself because this is Steve Jobs' first public appearance since his medical leave of absence. And it's just great to see him on, and great to see that he can actually he's good, he's well enough to walk, and that he was doing well. He said he didn't want to miss the event, and it's just great to see Jobs hold the event just because he's a huge iconic figure in terms of not just Apple but the whole technology industry. So getting back to the iPad, like I said, it's going to be thinner, lighter, faster. Other than the A5 processor and the new cameras, it's going to have a new white model. They have a new white model and a black model, so the standard black and white. It's going to be at the same price point, so that's a big thing. A lot of people were speculating if it's going to stay that baseline $499 price, and everything stayed about the same in terms of pricing. So that's the great selling point that a lot of people are still going to be interested in buying this new one just because it's the same price, it's faster, it's better, and it looks better, obviously, because it's much more sleek. It's an all-new design, nothing like they didn't take this design and tweak up from it. It still maintains your 10-hour battery life, which is awesome, and along with that, they came out with these new things called smart covers, which I'll probably show a picture and maybe a video of that here. It's a new magnetic latch. It's not even a case. It's basically polyurethane. I think that's what the same. I have my iPad case. Oh, it's over there. I can't reach it right now. But it's the old Apple iPad case kind of encased the whole iPad. This one is just going to be a magnetic latch that attaches to magnets built into the side of the iPad. And you just snap it on, and the polyurethane cover just covers the front of your iPad. And it cleans it while it's on, obviously, because it's the type of material it's made out of. And it also has a sensor built in, so once you lift the cover up, it automatically turns on your iPad. Along with that, the actual polyurethane case can roll up over the iPad and go into a vertical stand for portrait viewing your movies, your games, and stuff like that, and landscape view as well. So portrait and landscape supported. Along with that comes in colors, various colors, just to appeal to different customers. And it also has, I believe, like 4 leather material cases. But the only thing is, the leather cases cost like $70, so that's kind of pricey in terms of an accessory. I think cases should be priced $20 to $30 at most. So the polyurethane case is $40, I think, and then the leather case is being priced at $69. Yeah, $40 to $60. So final rundown is the 16 gigabyte model is $499, 32 gigabyte model is $599, and the 64 gigabyte is $700. They're still going to have the 3G devices as well as the Wi-Fi, and it's going to be on AT&T and Verizon. So, big updates. I'm sure a lot of people will be upgrading to the iPad 2 once it comes out March 11th. They're going to start pre-orders and all that, and I think by a couple weeks later, it'll be released in other countries as well. So, I'll be updating to iPad 2 as well once that comes out. Just gonna do the little wait. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be an early adopter. Just kind of see how the reviews look, what people say about it, and they say it feels much more different in the hands just because of how light it is. Anyways, so that's all the updates for the iPad 2. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions. I did an overview over at youtube.com/digitaldojos. Before I end the show, I do want to mention we have a new gaming channel up for Call of Duty videos and Xbox videos alike. Head over to youtube.com/digital or Dojo Gamers, I should say. So youtube.com/Dojo Gamers to see the new gaming channel. We only have one video up, but I should have another video up by tonight. For technology reviews and all of that, go over to youtube.com/digitaldojos, and of course our website digitaldojos.com, and my main channel youtube.com/LakerCoolman. And I do want to end with the app pick of the week, or not app pick, but pick of the week. This week it's an application for my iPad actually, so we're just talking about the iPad. It's actually an Apple-made application. It's called Keynote for iPad, and this is something I've been using a lot for school just because Keynote's a powerful application for presentations and stuff like that. Basically what you can do is you can make your own PowerPoints on your iPad, and it can sync back to your Mac or even your Windows machine, and it's really, really nice and intuitive here. So I can open up the sample application that comes with your iPad here, and sorry it's kind of a glare, but basically you can make graphics, make text, and pinch to zoom to get you can view your full presentation right here. You can actually, if you have the VGA adapter, present it on TVs and stuff like that. And it just, it's really easy to move objects, move images, add transitions, add effects. And I know you guys can't really see it here, so I'm going to try and turn the focus so you guys can see it here. Might have to lower the brightness too on the iPad. So, what do you call that? Keynote, you can export to Keynote files, obviously, and or PPT files, which is for Microsoft PowerPoint. Other than that, just a really, really neat way to make presentations. It's one of the great content creation devices on the iPad, because you don't really see a lot of content creation devices, but just really easy. Comes with standard themes, comes with some, you can obviously upload your own images, and takes a big, what do you call that, page, takes a rip from the page of the actual Keynote application on the Mac. So this is Keynote. I believe it's priced at $4.99 in the Apple App Store. I think they have one for the iPad or iPhone as well. So great presentation application if you're looking to make PowerPoints on the go. Again, Keynote made by Apple. And with that, guys, that concludes episode 18 of the DojoCast. Hope you guys enjoyed the quick rundown of news for the week. Sorry the episode's a little late. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out our websites. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next week.